All right, all right, all right. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. It's I don't know, what is it? Friday, May 5th. Thanks for tuning in. We're here with another issue of Coffee Q&A with our morning brew. So today's morning brew actually is a coffee that was gifted to me while I was in Dublin, Ireland back in February for the Barista Championship and Latte Art Championships. This is a coffee from a place called Bad Habits. It's their Cajamarca Peruvian, and I think it's a really nice coffee. Why is it upside down looking? Does that read backwards to you? Who understands these things? I don't know. We're just overhead. Bizarre. Bizarre. What is up with that? Anyway, this is the Cajamarca from Peru and Bad Habits coffee. So let's have a quick peek. I'm going to show you the beans. Let's go back here to this. So as you can see, it's a little bit lightly roasted, but nice looking coffee overall, I think. So yeah, the roast is a little bit on the lighter side. Smells nice, clean. So let's see what they say about it on the packaging. The packaging is kind of pretty, right? I like this. They kind of have this approach where they like to take the flavor notes and they're doing like cartoonish representations. I think that's really fun and pretty. So they say for here, dark chocolate, walnuts, maple, or maybe that's maple and ripe red fruit. So maybe like a cherry kind of taste to it. So we're going to do that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make it in the AeroPress. And as you can see, this AeroPress is really an AeroPress. It does have the actual labeling in it. It's just that it's a well-worn AeroPress or well-loved. And the nice thing with the AeroPress is that you can actually, if you decide, you can buy new plungers. This one's starting to get that little bit of tackiness, right, from age. I'm not going to worry about that. That should be fun. We're going to use the inverted method today because this is the recipe that I used to win the 2012 AeroPress U.S. AeroPress Championship. And this is actually the recipe that we used at the Hamden shop for many, many years. So we're just going to take off the cap here. And as you can see, we've got our pre-ground coffee. I pre-ground fairly fine. This is, of course, the Cajamarca. And this is ground to 36 grams. We're going to use 36 grams. So what we do is we'll be making a 12-ounce cup, total brew volume. And we're going to be using a little bit more coffee than normally. Normally we use 2 grams for every finished ounce, which is 24 grams. In this one, we use about 1.5 times that much because we want a little bit heavier concentration because we are running at a shorter brew time as well as we have a light pressurization. So the one thing about the AeroPress, when it first came out in 2005, they kind of touted it as being an espresso maker. Yes, I guess you could say it's somewhat like espresso because you're making coffee faster and you're putting it under pressure while you're brewing it. Of course, you're not reaching the 135 psi that a proper espresso machine would be making, but you can get some pressure out of it. So we upped the dosage so that we could compensate for those other things. It does come with a funnel. I did not use it. You really kind of want to use it so that you don't get it on the edge here. Otherwise, it could give you some problems. You just want to make it so that I try to pull it to the 4. There's a number 4 on here, right? And I'll try to pull it right up to that just to give you the maximum amount of space for water we're going to add to it. I'm really trying to get about 4 to 4.5 ounces of water. And we're going to need our timer. We've got our little bear timer here. Great. We've got our cup. We're going to put that there. And then we're going to need to get some water. It's a really simple process of making AeroPress, I think. So we're going to get our water that's just coming off the boil. And I'm just going to fill it up. And I'm going to start the timer as well. So let's pour the water. I guess I can zoom in a little bit so you can see better. There we go. So I'm going to eyeball it, just fill it to right about there. We're going to give it some space in case we have some blooming. This coffee, of course, I picked it up in February, so it's not going to have so much bloom. Now I'm going to stir for the first 45 seconds. So how did we come about with this recipe? So pretty much when we started development for the Hampden shop back in 2009, I assigned our baristas a couple of tasks, and one of them was to help develop the brew method recipes that we would use. And so the task for the baristas, so we basically took all of our baristas and broke them down into smaller teams. And I think 2 or 3 of the baristas worked on this. And there you go, 45 seconds, great. We're going to take our paper filter. Now, of course, as you know, we don't really wash our filters here because there's really no need. In this case, you might want to add a little bit of water only because as you overturn it, it could fall out. In this case, it's not, so that's good. So we can just take that, put that over here. Whoa, this one needs to be replaced. The plunger needs to be replaced. Ow. And then now that it's ready to go, we're about minute 23, so about almost 90 seconds total, which is great. We're going to invert it. We're going to revert it by placing the mug, the cup, over, and then just turning it as thus. And then we're just going to plunge. Which one does he want to give even pressure? Whoa. And just press down, pushing the coffee through the filter. And there's going to be a hiss. Yeah, just a light one. I kind of skipped over the air gap. So now when you take it off, there's always this kind of like coffee that's still stuck on the filter holder. So you want to kind of tilt it just to let it drain away, right? So I'm going to tilt it here. So as you can see, it's tilted, and just put it back over. There we go. Now we don't have a lot of coffee in here, but what we do have is a concentrated brew that needs to be diluted. Now, of course, if you want, you can totally drink this as it is, right? It's pretty strong mixture. Oh, there's some super juiciness to that. Right. What we're going to do is we're going to add some more water to volume for 12 ounces. We really designed this to be a 12-ounce drink. So everything is ratioed for the 12 ounce. And, of course, it's nice and hot. And as you can see here, it's got this kind of like tannish color rather than the dark brown color, which is interesting. I think that might mean that there's some more sediments that have come through, but also, more importantly, it's just, I think, the factor of the roast being on the lighter side. So it's fairly hot still. We're about 3 minutes total into it. Let's stop that timer. And yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of the entirety of the brewing process. So now that we've got the brew finished, let's have a taste. We're still hot. There is a really nice juiciness, like almost like that initial taste there, almost like a juicy fruit gum kind of like juiciness. I mean, it's still a very hot coffee. That's nice. Nice. There is some of that tonality of like almost like a cherry, like a lighter, like maybe even Jolly Rancher type of cherry. And I think that's probably because it's still quite a bit hot. So as this will cool down, I think we'll get a little more expressiveness from the coffee. So now it's just a matter of waiting. So how's everything going? If everything's going well, let me know what you're doing. Drop them in here in the comments or down below, whatever you want to do. So like I said, I picked this up when I was in Dublin. It was gifted to me. Really, really, it's really nice when people gift you coffee. Like I really enjoy it. And we were there for the. Oh, Alex, how are you, man? Good to see you. Thank you for writing in. How you doing today? Doing well, thank you. We are making nice coffee here, so yeah, nice to have you. Nice to have you. But we're there. I was there for the barista and latte art championships. So you may be familiar already that I do work with the World Coffee events as one of their international representatives, and that means that I have the opportunity to travel to different nations to help them stage the different championships that the World Coffee events overseas. And so they wanted to do the latte art and the barista championships that week, and so back to back at the same event, and we did that. Really nice time, turned out well, everything went smoothly. I had heard in the past there had been some issues with competitors or whatever, and luckily we were able to execute things in a smooth way, and I think people were pretty happy with it, so that's really a great thing. And they had it at the same venue that we held the World Barista Championship back in 2016. So it's a fairly nice venue, kind of like in the southern part of Dublin. I stayed not too far from there, pretty close to where one of the locations of 3FE Cafe is. However, I did not get to go to 3FE. Actually, it was a really, really quick trip. So basically, I flew in and I was there for just about 5 days. So basically, flew in, did 2 days of training, and then we did 2 days of competition, then I flew home. So it was really quick. I only got to visit one cafe during the time that I was there. I went to a place that had just opened like 3 weeks prior, a place called the Brew Lab. And it's a husband and wife team that have competed in the Irish championships for many years. They placed all over. I think they've had all 3 places in several of the championships: barista, latte art, Brewers Cup, things like that. And really nicely set up cafe, really brand new. And they kind of set it up into two spaces, like one area is for brewing, one area is for espresso. And just a really well thought out and nice location and cafe. Really had a nice time, actually. Went there and, oh no, now someone's calling. There's always something that happens around here. Yesterday we had the hopefully these people will stop calling. But yesterday we had the utility crew out here digging up the ground. And actually what happened yesterday was that while they were, after our live stream yesterday, I was like, what is going on? And I said to the guy, hey, what's going on out here? What are you guys doing? He's like, I said to him, are you replacing our gas line? And the guy said, well, we're shutting off the gas. And I was like, what are you talking about, shutting off the gas? So I had to get on the phone with the utility and I was like, hey, what's going on? They're like, oh, we need to contact them because they're not supposed to shut off your gas. And they didn't really, the representative didn't really know what they were doing, just that they were doing. And so a bunch of phone calls, and finally the supervisor or the foreman calls me, and he's like, or comes into the shop, and he's like, oh, I want to let you know what we're doing. I was like, okay, great, what's going on? So it turns out they were replacing the gas line, which the other crew guy just didn't bother and neglected to tell me that, oh yeah, well, we're turning off the gas, we're replacing the gas line. When I asked him, are you replacing the gas line? He said, no. And I was like, well, what are you doing? And so that just caused a lot of extra consternation on my part. But at the end of the day, still nice and juicy, bright, low body. I like coffees that are a little bit more robust, a little bit more full-bodied, a little bit more heavy in the flavor. This is very light, very bright, not like heavily acidic, just very bright in composition. The body is light. It is very bright. I keep saying that because that's kind of the major, kind of like a sour cherry. So there would be that cherry. Now, I don't really get any dark chocolate or molasses. That, of course, could be the way that the AeroPress brewing impacts the flavor. Perhaps if I used the Abbott Clever and had a nice long infusion, then maybe that would come out more. But the dark chocolate, I don't know, like at this lighter roast level, I'm not sure that dark chocolate nuts really are being produced by that roast level. Definitely there could be some walnut. I really don't get the walnuts. I just get a lot of light body, bright notes, maybe a little bit of sour cherry. I mean, it's very pleasant, but it's not necessarily the kind of like coffee that I want to drink in the morning. Like this could be nice afternoon coffee, like when you want to sit around in the afternoon, you want something light and kind of fun. This could be that, or this could also be something maybe that might be like a light and fun kind of cold brew. So if you did I wonder if you would do a cold brew with this, how that might affect the flavor, or because it's kind of one of those light. I want to almost say lemony, but it's not lemony. It's kind of got that light brightness of lemon. So maybe like this is a cold brew in the middle of summer, like would be really, really lovely. Or maybe even like this is a cold brew mixed with a little lemonade. That could be really, really fun, I think. All right, well, that's it for today. I think that'll be good for our morning brew. If you have any questions about it, drop them in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in. Always appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. We're going to be, there's a video that just came out here on the channel. This just as we were starting the live stream. It's a video about Oatly ice cream bars. Am I supposed to call ice cream bars? Maybe Oatly vanilla dessert bar. So basically what they are is this Oatly oat milk is used to make kind of an ice cream bar that's coated with chocolate. And they were passing them out on the show floor at SCA Expo last week. And I kept seeing all these people all day long. And I was like, what is going on with this? Where are you guys getting all this ice cream? And I was like, I got to go try that. Like, it's at Oatly. And I was like, do I want to get oat ice cream? Sure, of course. Why wouldn't I want to get oat ice cream? It's ice cream, right? And it turned out to be pretty good. Like, it does have that oat milk flavor, which to me is a little bit odd for ice cream. But the texture and the mouthfeel really was very satisfying. So, it's kind of a short little video, kind of fun. And then tomorrow's main video for the week is a visit to a place called the Silver Cloud Farm in Ka'u, Hawaii. So I was there back in November. And actually, I met this guy because I was there in November. One of my, of course, I know Lori Obra, which is Rusty and Joan's mom, and they run Rusty's Hawaiian Ka'u Coffee from Pahala. And so I was in Pahala attending Mass because my friend, one of my old friends, Father Bill, he's featured in some of his Na'alehu videos. He's the pastor there. And so I was kind of staying at his place. And so he's like, wow, and I know Lori's one of his parishioners. So I went to the Mass just to hang out on Sunday morning and hung out there, got to talk to some of the other people because they have a meal after. And so I met this guy, Miles Main, and he was a retired oil and gas guy who decided to come to Hawaii to start growing coffee. And he was like, hey, would you like to tour my farm? And I was like, yes, I would love to tour your farm. So tomorrow's video is the first part of 2, visiting the Silver Cloud Coffee Farm in Ka'u. And it's a long form video. It's almost like 55 minutes, I think it is. But it really we really get deep into like coffee farming operations and some of the issues that coffee farmers face, as in terms of like cost of production, materials, the coffee berry borer infestation, things like that. And then next week will be the second part, which will get, deeper through, because we're kind of going on a tour of the farm that goes kind of around the farm, starting with the crop areas and then down to the reservoir and then over to the processing mill and then into the dry storage. So I think it's kind of interesting. If you really want to get a deep insight into coffee farming, this is I think it'll be a great video to start with. But anyway, that's pretty much it for me this morning. It's Friday. Oh, Cinco de Mayo. I should have been, why did I do that? Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm so bad with all of this, like remembering dates. Like yesterday was the 4th of May. Star Wars, May the 4th be with you. Yeah, I didn't remember that till the day. And then, like, of course, today's Cinco de Mayo. I should have done yesterday's coffee today and this coffee then, because yesterday's coffee was from Café Estelar in Mexico City, and that's a coffee from Mexico. So why not do? Oh, never mind. Anyway, obviously, there's not enough thinking happening on my part. But anyway, I hope you have a great day. It's the 5th of May, And you should do look at what I do. I'm going to celebrate like my friends in Mexico do by doing nothing of anything of Mexican. I'm heading out to one of our restaurants tonight to go visit some friends, and then over the weekend, I don't know what we're doing this over the weekend. I got to shoot a video about eggs and chickens on Sunday. But all right. Thank you again for tuning in. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time. If you're just joining us now and you wonder what's going on, we've been brewing the Cajamarca from Peru. It is roasted by Bad Habits Coffee in Dublin, Ireland. Nice coffee, light, bright, juicy. Again, it's not one that I would drink for the morning. Like I wouldn't choose it I think I would choose for the afternoon, or maybe as a cold brew for the hot summer days, because it's got that kind of juicy mouthfeel and light bodied. So it's very light, it's very bright, it's very juicy. So keep that in mind. Give them a call if you want. I don't know if they ship to the United States. I don't know. All right. That's pretty much it for today. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend. Hope to see you again soon. And thanks. Oh.